Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Madhu Thorat, and I am currently the software architect for IBM Storage Scale High Performance Object Storage Solution, which is part of IBM's Storage Scale product. And today I will be talking about leveraging high performance object storage for today's AI, analytics, and HPC applications. So before I start, let me ask you a question. How many of you have seen a notification on your screen or, or on the mobile early in the morning saying, rediscover this day? Many of us have seen it, right? And when you click on that notification, you start seeing some old photos or videos appearing, and thus you revive your memories. Have you ever wondered about where all these photos are getting stored? Or have you ever thought about where your WhatsApp messages are getting backed up every night? So today in this session, we are going to talk about on what kind of storage your data is usually getting stored. Here is the agenda. We will first have a look at why there is need of high performance object storage and how it's relevant in today's world. Then we will have a look at the typical features a high performance object storage solution should provide. And we will also have a look at IBM's data access services solution. And towards the end, if we have some time, we will have a quick Q&A session. So let us get started. The world is changing. Here is a picture taken at St. Peter's Basilica Church in Vatican City in 2005. And here is another picture taken at the exact same place in 2013. In the second picture, you may notice that people are holding mobile phones or tablets in their hand and taking images and videos. These two pictures show how rapidly the technology landscape has changed over a few years. In fact, it looks like there has been a lifetime of technology changes in just 8 years. And this has led to the emergence of a tremendous number of applications or apps, as we call them, in the domains of AI and analytics. And all of these applications, while they are getting used, lead to generation of data. Now, for example, when you use an app to modify your pictures or capture videos, the data that gets generated, that gets stored somewhere, right? So for this tremendous amount of data that gets generated, we need big storage so that your data gets saved properly. And the recent buzz around ChatGPT clearly shows that AI is affecting almost every sector. Now, if you pick up the newspaper or if you see the news on television, or even if you look around yourself, you will most likely see that all AI is almost affecting every other industry. And there are some highly visible examples of this. For example, in the financial sector, AI is used for making critically important market predictions, then fraud detection and risk mitigation. And in other sectors, like in the retail sector, for example, when you use a shopping app, AI is used for making target-based advertisements or improving the customer experience. So all these examples show how AI has become important today. And all of these industries which are using AI are generating huge amount of data. In fact, the IDC, which is the International Data Corporation, estimates that by 2025, all of the data that would be generated worldwide would be around 175 zettabytes, which is pretty huge. And it is predicted further that the data that will be created in the next 3 years will be far more than the data that was created in the past 30 years. So this is pretty enormous. And most of this data will be unstructured. Unstructured means the data which cannot be fitted or saved in existing schemas or databases. So there are a number of examples of unstructured data around us. Like, for example, when you use Facebook or Twitter, when you post messages or when you capture videos or save audio files, all these are examples of unstructured data. And in the enterprise world, it is estimated that this data will be growing enormously, and 80% of that data will be unstructured data. So now we understand that so much data is being generated everywhere. So we need to think about storing this data, right? So what we need is storage systems which can solve two problems. One is the storage system should be able to store a large amount of unstructured data. And second, it should be able to provide access to the data at high speed and be scalable as well. So what is the solution? The answer is high performance object storage systems, which can take care of your need of storing unstructured data as objects. And it will also meet the demands of high speed, low latency, and scalability. And the major advantage coming with these object storage systems is they are available at low cost. So storing data becomes cheaper here. So till now, we tried to understand why high performance object storage or HPO is needed. Now, when you have to select a solution, HPO solution, so what should be the typical features you should look at if you want to use that solution for AI, analytics, and HPC? So here are listed some important features one should look at. For example, object storage. This is the most important feature. That is, your solution should be able to support object storage, to support saving unstructured data and semi-structured data. Then it should be providing high performance to get faster access to objects. Then it should be available at a cheaper rate at low cost. And it should also give AWS S3 access so that your unstructured data or the objects can be accessed using S3, which has become the de facto standard for object storage access. Also, it should support other important features like scalability, so that in case tomorrow you want to add more storage and also have performance improvements, then in that case, you should be able to add more compute nodes to your solution. And apart from all of this, some other features like multi-protocol data access, tiering, data protection, these all are also very important to make the data accessible from other storage protocols like NFS, Samba, HDFS, and also be able to categorize your data in different groups and be able to take care of safeguarding the data. Now, let us have a look at a use case where a data scientist accesses the AI application data using AWS S3 with high performance object storage solution. The image here shows one such example. At the middle is a distributed storage system environment or a data center which supports HPO. And at the left side, you can see the data may be ingested by devices like camera, sensor, or the data may even be coming to the storage from IO intensive applications related to the AI or HPC domains. So all of this data that comes from various sources gets stored in this distributed storage system environment. Now, once it gets stored, the data scientist may access this storage using AWS S3 to process the data further, to analyze it, to derive meaningful information out of it. And after the data scientist is done with his work on this data, the system administrator may decide to move this data to a backup storage system based on tape or object storage. So overall, this use case kind of shows how the data flow happens from left to right. That is, the data gets ingested from applications or devices to the storage. Then it gets accessed by the data scientist. And once the job is done, the data is then moved to a backup system. So similar to this use case, we can have many other use cases wherein high performance object storage solution can be used. Now, I would like to talk a bit about IBM Storage Scale HPO solution, also officially known as the Data Access Services solution. IBM has built a framework called the Global Data Platform based on IBM's well-proven products like Storage Scale. This global data platform consists of a set of core data services as shown here, 1, 2, 3. And these services help a customer to break the data barriers and solve a number of customer application requirements or problems. And with this differentiated approach to data, almost every client can benefit from this kind of global data platform. The global data platform here offers essential and differentiated services as shown here. With the data access services, which is the first layer, the high performance object storage support is provided with S3 access, which supports storing unstructured data as objects and provides high performance. This solution can be used along with other protocols like NFS, Samba, HDFS, CSI. So this kind of ensures that the same data can be accessed by using multiple protocols. For example, the data may be written using NFS and it may be read using S3. The second layer is the data caching services that provides data access independent from where the data resides without creating any copies of the data. And the third is the data management services, which allows you to define policies to have data lifecycle management done. And it provides visibility and control, thus enabling the customer to do data orchestration in a better way. And lastly, the global data platform provides security and cyber resiliency for effective detection and prevention of cybersecurity attacks and near-distant recovery of critical data in case of an attack. And at the right of this page, notice that there are performance numbers mentioned for the high performance object storage solution that I just described. Please note, these are one of the best performance numbers provided by a storage solution for object access. And very few solutions in the world today give such good performance. So to conclude, IBM Storage Scale High Performance Object Storage Solution meets the demands of storing unstructured data as objects, and it provides access to the data at high speed and low latency. And this solution is also scalable. So to conclude, what we saw is today, a large amount of data is being generated as new devices have evolved over the years. And it is predicted that in the next 3 years, the amount of data that will be generated worldwide would be far more than the data that was generated in the past few years. And most of that will be the unstructured data. So high performance object storage solutions become very relevant in today's world, as they can take care of storing the unstructured data. They can take care of providing the performance needed to access the unstructured data, which is stored as objects. They provide AWS S3 access, and they are available at low cost. So in this way, a high performance object storage solution provides the benefits and meets the requirements of a storage solution that is needed for today's problems. Thank you, everyone.